Now, the opposition National Super Alliance is promising to offer an alternative way of governance should it ascend to power in the August 8th general election through its six-pillar manifesto unveiled yesterday night. The document made public at the Ngong Rescos highlighted nation building, state building, transformative governance, realization of socio-economic rights, creation of jobs, and regional and international cooperation as key tenets of the NASA administration. Let's listen to part of what was in the NASA manifesto as reported by Kenaseka.
It is indeed the season of political promises, and just a day after President Uhuru Kenyatta led the Jubilee team to launch the party's manifesto, the opposition coalition NASA followed suit, unveiling promises one after the other. With the intention of wooing voters, especially undecided Kenyans, NASA principals digested their entire strategy to Kenyans 41 days to the general election. And should NASA kick out Jubilee from power, Kenyans will experience sweeping reforms in the first 100 days of Raila presidency, at least from Tinga himself, the man taking his third shot at the country's top job.
Will sign an agreement that he will not do business with the government. Today, we have a situation where those who are in government are themselves businessmen. And this itself is self-generating corruption.
Through constitutional amendments, NASA hopes to give the country a hybrid executive governance structure to replace the current system.
We want to encourage you to come along this journey. We've just given you a tip of the iceberg. But we intend, in all seriousness, to make the difference. This country has suffered for far too long under bad governance. The time is now.
While launching their blueprint at Ngong Rescos last evening, NASA revealed their plan to better the country's security, promising to start the pulling out of Kenya Defense Forces from the war torn Somalia. And should the team dislodge Jubilee, they will improve the welfare of police officers.
We will ensure our policemen and women are not only well trained, but are well paid and are given adequate and proper housing.
On education, the opposition promises changes that will include introduction of free secondary education, a plague they say will be effected before the end of the year. And for job seekers and fresh graduates who struggle to repay their help loans, the five-man team is making a pledge.
Today, a university student applying for that loan can be on the queue waiting for 6 months. NASA says they will resource the Higher Education Loan Board appropriately and in a timely fashion so that it should not take more than 2 weeks before the university student gets the access to their loan.
With Kenyans feeling every pinch and bite of food shortage, NASA says it will implement an integrated food security plan, which they say will make Kenya food secure.
From a country that had surplus food to a country of deficits. Even as we talk now, we have no ugali on the table. And that is for sure. Our priority is to rediscover productivity.
On graft, NASA says it will declare corruption a threat to national security. The document focuses on dealing with cartels that are draining the economy and overhaul the national resource management.
We will combat corruption. Corruption is a cancer in our society. Corruption is choking development in our country. It is not because of lack of laws. It is not because of lack of institutions, but it is because of lack of the will to be able to enforce the laws and create a proper system in our country.
For the sake of the country's healing and reconciliation, the opposition is determined to resolve historical injustices through the implementation of the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission report.
We will establish a commission that will deal with historical injustices. We will deal with extrajudicial killings. We will deal with the victims of muggings and police brutality effectively.
With this document, the 5 NASA principals hope that should they win the forthcoming general election, then this is the plan upon which Raila Odinga's presidency will be anchored. With Jubilee and NASA manifestos in public domain, it is time for Kenyans to scrutinize these documents and hold the leaders accountable after elections. Kenaseka,